today I'm going to be giving you a tour of this 2022 Thor Motor Coach Sanctuary 19L. So it is a 4x4 Sprinter van with a V6 turbocharged diesel engine, and it's pretty awesome. All right, so we're going to start on the outside. This is your 30 amp plug. This is where you can hook up cable TV if you're at a campground or whatever. This you can put a solar charger on if you want extra solar panels out on the side. This is your propane outlet. So you have a 24-pound propane tank under there, which is really good in terms of cooking, having your heater on, stuff like that. Personally, I like it instead of running everything electric because it kind of splits the load. Anyways, you have a nice little light out here, and then this is actually where your black tank is. So as you'll see on the inside, it has a toilet and a shower. So you just pull this up, then you can pull it out, and then you can dump it. You can go to a rest area, you can dig a hole, whatever you want to do. And that's actually really nice. So you don't have a black tank on this one. You can just manually take that out and do it. But you do have a gray tank under here. And this is your lowest clearance point. So some people actually get an upgrade where you take some of that height off of this right here. But I'm not gonna do that. I don't really care that much. And then moving on. So this is where you store your hose. And one weird thing about it, I don't know if I have a secondary hose or something, but I actually had to cut the end off because it doesn't fit inside. Yeah, that's what I had to do. Next up, this is where you put your water in. There's just a hole. And then this is where you have your city fill and your propane. So you can just turn this button on and it'll send propane through the van. And you can also fill up here as well. Oh, and one thing to note, you do have the flare outs, which should help in terms of the width of the bed so that you can sleep better, but there are actually blinds there. So it is almost as if it's standard if you didn't have blinds, if that makes sense. And then you have a fuel bike rack, which is really handy. So it is the 2500 Sprinter van. So that's the chassis. This one is a 2020, and it also has a tow hitch. And I believe you can tow 3,500 pounds with that. So you can get something around. And then you also have some outlets back here, which is kind of cool if you're hanging out. And then going with that, you can attach something that uses propane to this, like a grill or something like that. This is the bug net I have on. I just put it on and keep it on because it's really hard to get on, honestly. So this is the BM Pro, the RV Master. This is how you control all your electronics. So bam, we got our lights here. We got 4 switches, and then also we have an awning. And with your awning, you have a little outdoor grill section, outdoor table. You can just hang out here, do your stuff. I actually use it as storage, as you can see. But if I was gonna use it, I would just take that out, and it's magnetically held. And then you also have some more storage under here. And then right here, this is really cool. I like this because this is where I put my shoes. A lot of times you have trouble finding a place for bulky shoes like this, but this netting is perfect. All right, moving on in. One thing I found really helpful is having a doormat. You guys probably know that if you've lived in a van. And I'll actually take this time to mention, I'm gonna be traveling in this van to all 50 states and showing a vlog series on that. So if you wanna see that, I'm gonna link the playlist up here. Go check it out. All right, so next up we have the cab. And this is the highest quality part of the entire van, in my opinion, because Mercedes did a really good job. I'm not going to go through all this, but you know, you got touchscreen. It looks really awesome, and it's got all the techie stuff. I actually use some of this as storage as well, as you can see. And I do want to get a headliner shelf, which means you get a metal piece that goes from here all the way to here, and you can get curtains on it. So that you don't have to put all your stuff up every time, which isn't that hard, but just saving that extra time to do that. I'm thinking about doing it if I'm gonna be living in it full time, which I will. And it gives you a ton of extra storage. Think about all of this storage. One more addition that I'm thinking about doing is the extender shelf. A lot of vans you'll see have this where it goes up, right? Because this van in particular does not have a lot of prep space. So you have, if you're cooking, you have your sink, which you're honestly going to be using. It's a pretty good bin. I like the sink, it's nice. And then you got your 2-burner propane stove, And other than that, as far as prep space goes, it's really hard. So I actually end up using the lagoon table, which on another note is really nice. It goes around and you can actually use it with these seats as well, because these are swivel seats. So really 3 people could be eating at a time, or 4 because you could fit 2 here. So this is a 4-person van. It has 2 seat belts and you have the 2 up here. So that's really nice and good little work area. And then you have your cabinets, lots of storage in here. And yeah, I actually have my stuff in here, so you can actually see how I use this if you want to. Top shelf is utensils and all that. This is my little pantry. This is my pots and pans and gadgets. So this is all really kitchen stuff. And then we also have TV. I don't really use it personally. I use my MacBook, but somebody might. Then you have this, which looks small, but it goes all the way back in there. Really cool. Continuing on, so the windows actually do have this where you can pull it down and complete. That is super nice, super high quality. And it also has a couple of plugs down here and USB ports. And it does have a CO2 detector as well as the heater. You can see those little dots there. The CO2 detector, because since it is propane, you do want some of those on there. Reading lights, bam, it's really cool. A fuse box back here behind this one right here. And this van also does have a water filter in the back, so you can get potable water and then just drink it and not really have to worry about it, or filter your water putting it into the van. Right, so here's the layout of the van. And of course you have your stuff down here. This is your master volt panel. So this is where you control your lithium ion battery system, which is a 400 amp hour system. And it does have a secondary alternator charging that, as well as 190 watts of solar. Works pretty well. Outlet, disconnect switch. This is how you disconnect your inverter. It has a 3000 watt inverter. And then this is your solar panel, just to see what it's up to. Then you do have your fire extinguisher. And these I've actually found really handy. These little hooks, I hang my fruit there, which I don't have at the moment. And then this is also a tiny little addition I did. I just put really strong Velcro on the bottom here, and it's been holding really well. And I just put all my spices and oils and random kitchen items that I don't really have space for and didn't feel like optimizing space for. I just throw it there. But yeah, you do have this little space as a prep space, but I found that it's kind of hard to prep here, prep food, because it's just so small and not very tall. But above it is the microwave. I haven't used it yet, but if you're a microwave person, it's gonna be really handy. If it was a convection microwave, so it could be an oven and a microwave, that would be amazing. Might look into that. I also wanted to show that inside the fridge is pretty big, really nice. And you also have this freezer space, which isn't huge. I thought it would be bigger, but it does the trick. And then you also have this little one down here. Also not huge, but you know, every little bit counts. Then you got here, and this is actually, so I store some stuff here as you can see, but behind it is your Truma panel. This is where you control your heater, water heater, stuff like that. It has a propane heater on it. It has an AC, and this is not, it's a alternating current AC, so it does use quite a bit of power, but with the 400 amp hour lithium ion, you could run it through the night on low. As long as it's not too hot, you could get through the night. But I would eventually like my next van to have a DC air conditioner, because it would be able to be more efficient, because it wouldn't have to use the inverter. Anyways, let's move on to here. So this is my toilet, shower, closet, storage for bathroom items. So you got this here, you know, of course you have your shower in here. It is a full wet bath. And down here, you have your toilet. And then you also have a sink in here. This that comes down, kind of hard to see right now because I also wanted to highlight how it is a very, very spacious shower. So all I'd have to do if I want to take a shower is take these clothes out and the bar, and I'm ready. And I think if you're living in a van, you know that space is gold, right? You need space and you need to utilize that space, and your space has to be multiple things at once. And I think that's actually a pretty good use. It does feel a little bit clustered in here. Like if I'm standing this way, it does feel kind of tight. But I think it just might be worth it for all that extra storage as a closet. And the mirrors also come out so that you can put stuff in it, which is really nice just for some of those bathroom items. And it also has a max air fan in there, so that's cool. Speaking of max air fans, we do have this. This is an aftermarket part, just holds up by magnets, reduces road noise. I like it, super cheap. You got your max air fan up there. These things are a lifesaver in a van. When you don't really need to use your AC, but you just want to cool off a little bit, it's really, really good. And then right here, this is really awesome in my opinion. This is why I like the 19L over the 19P. I have so much space, and these little bins make the world of difference. So I just set up 3 little bins I bought on Amazon, and boom, I have 3 massive cabinets here. And I'm also gonna add L tracks to the top of here so that I can hang whatever I want, you know, these towels, anything else. Oh, and side note, these are my window covers, and I just put them there because it's perfectly lined up. Anyways, this is your bed, 72 inches long. So if you're 6 foot tall, you might think that it's going to be perfect, but really your pillow takes up a couple inches, so I usually sleep with my knees bent a little bit. Then I also got this little doohickey, meant for a bathroom, but I put my phone in it, and then boom, you got your USB right there. And you also have little reading lights, which is really cool right there. And then this is where your clothes can go. Lots of storage in there actually. I fit the majority of my clothes in there. As you can see, here's one of Thor's signature moves. In my opinion, Thor has not been super amazing. They've had a lot of little things that were wrong, like trim falling off, nails not screwed in. They're definitely not the highest quality build, but this van does have everything, so I'm happy with it. And I just glued some stuff, screwed some stuff, and got it all tightened down. Not all of it, but we're getting closer. And then here's your windows. These are really cool actually. You can't see it right now because the door's open, but bam, there you go, and you can hook that screen on. This is really cool as well if you're trying to get some airflow on a hot night. That one as well, but I have the shade down to highlight that. AC right above you, which is really nice on those hot days. And I also put a 3-inch mattress topper on this memory foam, since I am living here full time, because the original mattress wasn't super comfortable. So I think that's super helpful. Some nice little storage. Some people might use that as trash can space right there. I use it as other stuff space, and I put my trash can here because it is only me most of the time. It does have a JBL Charge 3 speaker on it, which is really cool. I actually think that's a really nice feature. Right here, to protect from the heat, you got your glass. So back here, you have a ton of space. I do like the 19L because of all this space. I don't even use it all. So I have a giant bin here, and then like I said, those 3, and then I also have space on the sides. And just to note, I do have my bug net on there permanently because I do not want to take it on and off. It's really hard. And then you got your ladder, as well as an outdoor shower. Yeah, so back here you got your outdoor shower port right here, which is really cool. Your water pump switch, a light switch, which is for the side of the van. Bam. And then you do have some outlets. So just some cool stuff. And here, right here is your 3000 watt inverter and your 400 amp hour battery system. And then over there, your 24 gallon water tank and your water pump and your water heater, which is just, I think it's around 3 gallons for the water heater. So yeah, this is where all your stuff lays, just like in most van builds. So that up there is the wine guard, which basically you can go to your service provider and get a SIM card and run internet through this. So it's basically like a traveling hotspot meant for RVs and vans. And I also wanted to show you how you work all the electronics. So you just use this BM Pro, where you have your home, you can see everything there, but you can also go, so you can see your water pump, tank heaters, your tank levels, your gray tank levels, your awning retract, your awning extend, climate. You just hit this little button and then you can set it to cool, Low, high, auto, you know, you got all your climate here. As far as AC goes, you have your lights, which you can actually dim, which is really kind of cool if you're trying to save batteries. Some sensors, which is just nice to see in one place. Battery and fuel, and propane, and then your max air fan, which you can actually raise from here. So yeah, really cool van. I like it. I'm super excited to live in it. It is 4x4 and it is lifted a little bit, and it has some off-road tires on it, so it'll get me where I need to go, and it'll be comfortable doing it with everything that I need to have, and that's really all you can ask for in a van. And it also has good AC, good heater, good battery system, good cooking place. Once I get the extender, it'll be really good. Good storage, all around really good. The only complaint I do have is that Thor did not have the highest quality build, in my opinion. At least maybe it's just this van, but I don't know, leave in the comments if your Thor build, or if you've heard of it, isn't super high quality either, because a lot of stuff just was never nailed in or never put up right. Anyways, so the secondary alternator, it works really, really well, and it's basically like having a generator attached to the van, right? So if I'm getting low on battery, I can just turn the van on, and without even moving, it'll start filling my batteries. And it takes, I don't know, if I was on empty or close to, because you don't want to get to empty with lithium ion, it would probably take about an hour to charge. And so that's really good. And that's just an estimate, and probably a low estimate. But yeah, if you take a quick trip anywhere, you're probably going to top off depending how low you are. And that's just really, really nice, especially if you're traveling a decent amount. And then you always have that option to just turn your car on, or the van on, if you have diesel, and it'll charge up. Yeah, I think it's a really good van. I'm excited to live in it. And yeah, I'll link my playlist after this video. You can go check it out. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I'll get to them.